I do have a question about campfire experiences. Valerie, who wants to get it, she wants to get her knowledge on. I love that she's taking advantage of this. How do campfire experiences scale up to more connectedness and a bigger association or even full society or country? Are the campfires the building blocks or are these separate concerns?
All right, so the different kinds of events, they're so-called arena events. And by the way, I write all about this in my book, Building Brand Communities. And that book is for any organization that has an identity that's bringing people together. So associations are definitely branded communities, right? So just know I go really deep into that. And different kinds of events are arena events, which is to say we're all facing someone in the front, we're all in a big room. And then more intimate events, campfire experiences, and you can combine them. So you can have an event where there's an arena experience for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you break it up into more campfire experiences. And quite frankly, you've seen a lot of that in many places, right? And actually that's the best case scenario. Another thing to do is just make sure that you're scaling a lot of campfire experiences, and you can do that in one spot. So you can have a beach barbecue, but you can set it up instead of these big circles of chairs or all the chairs around one campfire. Just because you're trained and you understand this works, make sure you set up your chairs in groups of 5 or less. And by the way, groups of 2 and 3 are fantastic. In fact, when you think of those friends you'd call Kiki, a lot of those conversations were groups 2 and 3, maybe even in a car.
Right. That's true.
So when we understand that, all of a sudden 2 and 3 becomes great. 3 is often better than 2 in programming, because if somebody has a family member that's in distress and distracted by it, it's really good to give their partner another option to talk to than someone who's, distracted by distress, for example. So we set up our spaces with several campfires in it, and we think that ahead with furniture. By the way, if you invite me to your event, wittingly or unwittingly, and I get there and you tell me it's a connection event for all these professionals, and I get there and I only see arena setup, I immediately know you have no idea how people connect.
Yeah.
Right? I know that all of this is just theater and or an effort on your part to get a good picture for the report.
It's true.
And no or little effort to actually help people connect. So that's one way to do it, is you create those events. Another one way is just to make sure that your events are very lo-fi, and then create a way, structure that your participants can create them themselves. So for example, I have advised a very, very famous media company you've heard of, Kiki. And this is a multi-billion-dollar company. And anytime they have a program to create events to connect people, because they're a famous company that has a lot of money, whoever's assigned to do that needs to make it a really spectacular event. Well, this company is dealing with the same isolation, disconnection that the Surgeon General has written about the whole country. This company is not special. And what would really help them is soup and bread. If they had their staff that they want to connect better, just share soup and bread on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it would get way better. If not soup and bread, ice cream. But they're just kind of unwilling to do that because it's not spectacular enough and there's no good pictures. So if you go lo-fi and understand soup and bread or ice cream
Soup and
is
bread.
good,
Or ice cream. Yes.
I use as a filmmaker is I would get gift certificates to a famous ice cream shop you've heard of. And whenever we had to celebrate a failure or a success, I would pass out the, quite frankly, inexpensive ice cream cards and say, you need to take someone else from the team and go celebrate. Well, A, they have a celebration from the boss, right?
Yeah.
And B, they're going to spend time having a conversation, a private conversation about what they want to talk about, celebrating that they wouldn't have generated otherwise. Right. And you know what it costs? It costs 2 ice cream.
Wow. I love that so much. And it's really speaking to what's actually meaningful and effective and not just theater, to your point,